What are the myths during pregnancy? You also are a mom, so what did you go through? Amira, thank you so much for coming again. We are going to speak on prenatal and postnatal pregnancy.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, what is a healthy food for ladies who are going through pregnancy, prenatal and postnatal? What are the facts and what is myth?
So let's start with the first thing, that's a healthy pregnancy plate and also during lactation. So the healthy eating principles remains the same whether it's pregnancy or even after that during the lactation. So you have to have a well-rounded diet which is balanced with carbohydrates, proteins, fats. So basically, you need to follow the basic five food groups. So see, universally we get food from all the basic five food groups because different groups of food have different functions in your body.
The five food groups?
Yes. So, which is your grains, which is your dairy products, which is your fruits, your vegetables, and your lean proteins. Okay. So, remember, if you try to eliminate one of these food groups, you are going to compromise on certain nutritional elements, which is why following this balance is a key for healthy pregnancy and also even afterwards, because different food groups have different functions in your body. So you cannot just go ahead and say that, I'm just going to do only protein, I'm not going to do carb, because as being pregnant and also even afterwards, as I've said, healthy eating is the key. And you're going to take all these nutrients and your baby is going to have all the nutrients what you eat. So a healthy pregnancy plate and a lactation plate should contain fruits, your veggies, your whole grains, very important, because like oats, quinoa, brown rice, wholemeal pita bread, wholemeal bread, chapati, and all of that, which is your whole grains. Together with that, proteins, whether it's meat, fish, or chicken, but it contains iron, it contains all the nutritional elements. If you're a vegetarian, you can go for vegetarian proteins like pulses, lentils, legumes, tofu, cottage cheese, and all of that, and also dairy products. So every single meal that you eat should have a balance of all these different nutritional elements, whether it's your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. See, people might ask me, why would I eat protein for all your meals? Because eating protein is very essential to lock your appetite, because being pregnant, it's very essential, and protein is an element that gives that has a function to do with muscle building. So protein also help you to create a sustained release in your energy.
Things to avoid during pregnancy?
Yes, there are certain things depending on the place you come from, and also like what you have been told, and you are also into a lot of social, under the influence of a lot of influences and all of that. So you tend to avoid a lot of things. But generally, there are few things you have to avoid from a nutrition perspective, which will be like having raw sprouts, having carbonated beverages, raw seafood. Seafoods are fine, but it should not be half cooked or raw, like sushis, for example. Raw egg preparations and unpasteurized milk or dairy products, and deli meats, processed meats, and all of that you have to avoid.
What are the myths during pregnancy? You also are a mom, so what did you go through?
See, actually, there are lots and lots of myths that's going around when you are pregnant and also during lactation. I will actually kind of say few things which is which is the most popular ones. One is you have to actually eat for two. It is actually a misleading one. You really don't have to eat for two. Remember, what you have to understand is it's a quality of food that matters the most. It's not the quantity. Quality meaning quality of food that's nutrient dense, which contains the right amount of carbs, proteins, vitamins, and minerals, and all of that. So this pregnancy has been divided into 3 trimesters. We have first, second, and third trimester. So during the first trimester, what happens is you literally don't have to increase your calorie intake. Okay, you can just follow whatever you have done during your pre-pregnancy time. During a second trimester, what happens is you have to increase your calories to an additional of 350, 340 calories. And during the third trimester, it increases up to 450 calories. So meaning that you don't literally have to have huge quantities of food. Having small meals, multiple meals in between, having fruit, having handful of nuts or smoothies and shake can help you to take care of all these recommended needs. So that's the key. The key is to have quality food, not to have increased portions or increased volume of food, because unnecessary weight gain during pregnancy can be a risk factor for yourself and for your baby. So the next myth will be like, you have to stop having caffeine. It's a very popular thing because when you're pregnant or when you're lactating, you will be advised, that not to have caffeine. But that actually is not true. You can have caffeine, but anything that's less than 200 milligram of caffeine per day. See, caffeine is not just present in coffee. So tea has caffeine, chocolates has caffeine. So if you want to know what exactly is 200 milligram of caffeine, like let's have a bar of chocolate that will have something between 20 to 30 grams of caffeine, and a mug of tea can go up to 75 grams of caffeine, and a mug of coffee can go up to 100 milligrams of caffeine. So if you know this portions well, you can just fit your tea coffee into your healthy eating pattern. But remember, you need to be very watchful of your portions. Next myth is saying goodbye to seafood. So you literally don't have to stop having seafood. Seafood has mercury content for sure, but there are fishes which is very high in mercury, and there are fishes which has lower mercury content. So what during pregnancy, what you have to do is you have to opt for choices that has lower mercury content, okay, which would be salmon, which would be codfish, which would be tilapia and all of that. And the portions or the quantity can go up to 8 to 12 ounce per week, which is a good amount, and 1 ounce is close to 29 to 30 grams. And the fishes which are high in mercury content, that you have to avoid, which is shark, king mackerel, tilefish, and we have marlin fish and all of that you have to avoid. Otherwise, fishes are safe to eat as long as you're having fishes from the low mercury content group. So morning sickness. Okay. So see, there is other thing which is like morning sickness can happen only in the morning, but it's a misnomer. Morning sickness can happen any time of the day, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, any time. And there is something that you can do that can actually control the symptoms from you getting into morning sickness, which is like once you wake up, try having a whole wheat crackers, which helps you to prevent or to control all the symptoms of having morning sickness. Having small frequent meals, like instead of having large meals, go for 5 to 6 meals in a day. And also including protein really helps with each of your main meal. Hydrate yourself, physical activity, stress management. These are the few things that really helps you to control your morning sickness.
You said a balanced meal is always good during pregnancy. That takes all the popular diets out of the window. So no one can do a popular diet during that particular time.
Obviously not. Pregnancy is not a time that you have to attempt any diet trends or a popular diet or anything of that kind, because pregnancy is all about eating healthy, because what you eat is the important source of nutrition for your baby, and doing some kind of diet trends and all of that can be very harmful for your baby. So there's no elimination plan, there is nothing to be restricted. See, there are certain conditions like gestational diabetes, or if you're someone who has a history of type 1 type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure and all of that, or who is having like other kind of comorbidities, obviously the dietary pattern changes, but still you have to have a balanced diet, and you need to talk to your dietitian and your healthcare provider during pregnancy and even afterwards to help you to design a healthy eating pattern.
The diets for vegetarians and during pregnancy.
See, interestingly, what happens is if you look into the pattern of a vegetarian diet, usually it's rich in carbohydrates, and more or less the protein intake has been compromised. So vegetarians has to have a careful intake, or you have to consider taking proteins in the form of pulses, lentils, legumes during pregnancy to enrich your diet with proteins. And there is other thing called the vitamin B12, which is usually present in animal foods, animal products. So so that you need to get your supplementation, so speak with your healthcare provider. And then there is vitamin D. If you're deficient in vitamin D, definitely you have to get the supplementation, and that too after speaking to your physician.
How to prepare food safely, especially during pregnancy?
This is very important, because remember, when you're pregnant, you are very vulnerable. So always wash your fruits, your vegetables, and your salads to remove any kind of trace amounts of soils, because soil, as you know, it contains some parasites and it could be very harmful for the baby. And you need to use different colored cutting boards, especially for meat products, to prevent cross contamination. And always store separately the cooked food and raw food to prevent food poisoning. And there is other thing that you can have to do is always keep hot food hot and cold food cold, and always wash your hand, wash the surfaces right after food preparation to prevent food poisoning, food contamination, and all of that. So these are few simple steps that you can do to prevent yourself to getting into some kind of risk. So these are the things that you have to do on a daily basis.
Best practices for lactation.
See, long story short, what I wanted to tell you is like if you follow that healthy plate system wherein half of your plate is your veggies, quarter portion for whole grains, quarter portion for your protein, and on your side you can choose your dairy product and also your fruits. If you follow this plate method, regularly for your lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner as a systematic process, you will ensure that you are getting all the balanced nutrition and you can reap the benefits out of it. And not only during pregnancy and lactation, remember, this is something that you can do for the whole family. So it's not something special, it's not different, and even otherwise as a part of a healthy lifestyle. So so once you deliver, it could be quite challenging, overwhelming experience, especially when you're a new mom. And what I want to say is you should never attempt to go for any dramatic transformation in terms of weight loss, like losing cutting down calories, following a high protein low carb diet, and all of that, because any dramatic modification in your food choices can diminish your milk supply, can cause mood fluctuations, can make you feel lethargic, can make you feel tired, and all of that. So if you want to lose weight, naturally you will lose weight, because once you're lactating, obviously your fat percentage and all is going to go down, so you will lose weight. Remember, you took this 40 weeks of pregnancy to gain this weight, so it will take some time. You have to be patient. As long as you follow a healthy eating pattern followed by a good physical activity, and talking about physical activity, you have to speak with your physician regarding the physical activity. When you can start, you will start losing weight gradually. But still, if you want to have some help, you can start after 3 months, after 6 months, but you have to take the help of a professional like a dietitian to design a healthy eating habit. Don't ever attempt something on your own. So that's my advice.